Good morning. You're listening to Caregiver Crossing, a podcast brought to you by Joy's House. We are so blessed and thrilled that you're here. Caregiver Crossing, if you haven't been with us before, you should know that we are a podcast created just for you, the caregiver. I'm Tina McIntosh. Who are you?
And I'm Terry Stacy, and we're here every week. Hi. We're here every week, and we live here, actually. And then we just pop out, and we do this every week with experts from across the country to provide you with some comfort and resources and also joy to our caregivers. This podcast serves to embrace family caregivers of today and tomorrow. And we sure thank you all for being here. Tina, let's do it. Jump right in. We have an exciting guest today.
Well, we do. So I'm going to do this as quickly as I can so we can get to it. But we are talking today with Jennifer Pinson. She is a music therapist. She's board certified, the owner of Dynamic Music Services, Inc. here in Indianapolis, Indiana. She's also a really good friend of Joy's House. And so we are really happy to be able to share her services. She and her team support elderly caregivers in senior living communities, home-based services, in hospice care. And in fact, Joy's House received a grant this past year from Cathedral Women to bring Jennifer and her team into Joy's House for music therapy with our guests. And while we're doing it virtually right now because of all of the COVID restrictions, it's still one of our favorite activities.
Well, I am truly interested in this topic. And in doing a little research before the interview, we've learned that, one, music is particularly beneficial for people struggling with cognitive decline because it is easier for them to access the memory of a cherished melody than to recall a person's name or a past event. And music, number two, music helps older adults maintain or increase their levels of physical, mental, social, and emotional functioning. And I know I know that there's so much more to this, but we need to hear directly from Jennifer because we could go on and on, I'm sure. Jennifer, thank you so much for being here. Let's start with the power of music therapy for people with Alzheimer's or dementia. How and why is it so helpful to the elderly population?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me here. I really appreciate being able to share about music therapy with you. So, one of the things I want to start with is, how many times have you listened to a song and it's like taking you back to the place that you first heard that song or a memory that you have from that music? And so I think even just the way that we experience music is the same way that somebody with dementia or Alzheimer's could experience music as well. So you might see somebody that you start playing a song and it brings them back to that memory. It brings them back to that spot where they heard that song. And these can be positive memories or they could be memories that are tied with a lot of emotion. And so it could be a song that they heard at a funeral. It could be a song that they associate with a past loved one. So not always when we hear music is it going to be a positive response. But most of the time when we hear a song that has been impactful in our life, we have a response. When working with somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia, being aware of their mood and how music can be an impact on their mood and also kind of watching that. And so a lot of times when I'm bringing in music, I try to bring in music that might be from, a time that they were out dancing or a time that they were experiencing music in positive ways, but I'm always watching for the response of the individual as well. But music also has a sense of predictability. So there's always a beginning and there's always an end. And there's usually in the middle, it's usually very pleasurable to listen to. So when we experience music, it's predictable in our bodies in the way that we experience it. So somebody with Alzheimer's or dementia, when they experience it, they will like that predictability, that feeling that music can bring to us. And music therapy, one of the things that I really like about it is the autonomy that brings for the individual participating as well. They get to choose if they want to play the instrument. They get to choose how they experience the music and they get to choose how they participate. And a lot of times they don't have some of those choices in their day-to-day lives because of the things that they have to do and the things that we have to do just in that experience of how we live life. And so, that's one of the things that I really value the most about music and music therapy and some of the things that we see be very beneficial for individuals with dementia and Alzheimer's.
I think for any of us who have had small children in our life and we play music and we see what it does to their souls, and then we age them in our minds 80 years and think about, it can do the same thing to all of us, no matter what your age is. Yep. What are some things that caregivers can do at home that would be not music therapy, because we're not all music therapists, therapeutic through the use of music?
So I think even what you just said too about like you think about with children, so pairing music with the things that they're doing on a regular basis. So, even like with my kids, we have a toothbrushing song that we use. And so like when that song comes on, my kids know what to expect. And so, it can be the same way. So maybe if you have somebody who's struggling to want to take a shower or struggling to, doing their activities of daily living, pairing music with it, making it fun, but then also giving them a routine and some structure with music. I also really like the idea too of if like music that was prominent in your life with your caregiver or with your loved one, is using that music to help have conversation. So again, music can bring us into those moments in our lives that we might have forgotten, or it might bring them into a place where they might be able to have a conversation with you. So I've always found music as a very powerful tool for reminiscing. So singing those songs with your loved one, bringing those songs in, I think it can be just a really powerful thing. And I know you guys can probably hear the music in my office right now because I have a therapy session going on here and one going on here. So if you can even just come and hang out in our office for a day and experience lots of music.
I love that. And I usually do have music on as well all the time. And what I find interesting is how it works in the moment. My mother-in-law, she could maybe not remember our names, but she knew Elvis and she loved Elvis, and she just, and everything was Elvis and music and everything. So long-term, is there any benefits to music therapy long-term?
Yeah, so the research has shown that it can be really great for a mood stabilization. So if somebody's having some different mood changes and stuff, it can really help stabilize mood for long term. There's also benefits in terms of seeing less aggression. If you have individuals that might be showing some aggressive tendencies, or it can really help like minimize aggression. And they've also seen stuff just in cognitive skills and motor functioning. So there's a lot that we can pair with like PTOT. I one time was doing music therapy with somebody who was working on like marching and moving in physical therapy because they were working on their lower extremities. And we would just place tambourines and they would be like doing the marching and stuff, but playing the tambourines to music. And that was just like a small way that we use music to encourage them to do that. So there are benefits and stuff in terms of range of motion and that physical part of music that using a music therapist can help those, maintaining those executive functioning skills, maintaining the physical and the motor functioning that we need to maintain through the end of life as much as possible as well.
I've even heard, Jennifer, of people using music in separate rooms in their house that maybe lures their loved one out of a room, things like that. So I know that we have to wrap up our time together, but in doing that, can you talk about maybe one of your favorite memories at Joy's house? I know you've done so many of these virtually, but anything that sticks out for you?
So early on, I have 3 and I'll share them really quickly. But one of them in the very beginning, we were doing You Are My Sunshine, and I completely had like layered myself on dropping out. And so like I was singing and then I was like somewhat singing. And then I had the entire chorus that they sang 100% by themselves. And it was like, seriously, I think my heart grew like 2 sizes in that moment. And I was like almost crying because it was just so beautiful to listen to them singing You Are My Sunshine 100% without me. It was so beautiful. At Thanksgiving, we wrote a song of things that we were thankful for together. And I remember one of the people was like really stuck on being thankful for IU. So then I had to make sure to throw Purdue into the song too. And so it's super fun. And it was just really great to hear all the things that they were thankful for, and even to hear what they were thankful for you guys too, and what Joy's House provides them. And so it was really moving. And I actually recorded that session and sent it out to you guys. It was beautiful. And I have had so many sessions where people have been getting up and dancing, and it has been just a joy to be able to see them dancing on the screen and the way that they move to the music. And so I have really enjoyed it. I haven't really gotten to meet any of them in person just because of the way that everything with COVID has been, but I cannot wait until the day that I get to meet them in person.
I just love it. Jennifer Pinson has been our guest today on Caregiver Crossing. Music therapy is the topic. And, if anybody would like to get in touch with you and learn more, how do they do that?
Sure. You're welcome to email me. It's jpinson, Pinson, @dynamicmusictherapy.com.
Tina, can people talk to you? You want them to send you an email, or are you done with that?
Email me. Listen, we're doing this from home and I got dogs barking in the background. Email at tina@joyshouse.org. I would love to hear from you.
Everybody, thank you all so much for listening to us once again on Caregiver Crossing. We will be back with another episode. Jennifer, thank you very much. Everybody, stay safe and well, and we look forward to having you join us next time on Caregiver Crossing.
Thank you so much for having me.